Earthlies. It is the only wonder of the ancient world still standing. A mountain of stones so precise, we can barely replicate.
It contains 2.3 million stone blocks. Some weigh as much as 3 elephants, and they move them without wheels, engines, or steel.
The limestone was local, but the massive granite beams inside? They came from Aswan, over 500 miles away.
Here is the mystery. The Egyptians only had copper tools. Copper is a soft metal. Trying to cut granite with copper is like trying to cut wood with a plastic knife.
Historians say it took 20 years. To finish on time, they had to place one massive block every... Before a single stone was laid, they leveled the ground. Using water-filled trenches as natural levels, they...
The precision is terrifying. The pyramid will fall along.
They didn't use lasers, they used physics. They drove dry wooden wedges into the rock, then soaked them with water. The expanding wood cracked the stone. No wheels were used. They dragged the blocks on sledges. By wetting the sand in front, they reduced friction by... They worked with nature, not against it. They waited for the annual Nile flood, which brought the water right... The biggest problem? To haul stones to the top, a straight ramp would need to be a mile long. It would require... The solution? They didn't build outside, they built inside. A hidden spiral ramp runs up the... Is it real? Modern thermal scans have found a density void spiraling up the structure, and this notch on the corner. The Grand Gallery wasn't just a hallway, it was a machine. A massive counterweight system used gravity to...
Deep inside lies the King's Chamber. It is lined with red granite blocks.
How did they cut granite without diamond saws? They used dolerite pounding stones. They bashed the rock for months, slowly pulverizing it into shape.
For precise cuts, they used copper saws. But the copper didn't cut, the sand did. Quartz crystals in the sand acted as a primitive diamond abrasive. To lift the 80-ton beams, they likely used the Shadoof lever principle. Step by step, lifting the stone inch by inch.
The stones fit so perfectly you can't slide a credit card between them. They used a special gypsum mortar. As they reached the top, the workspace became tiny. The wind was fierce. One slip meant death.
Hollywood lied to you. They weren't slaves. Archaeological evidence proves the pyramid builders were paid, respected, and highly skilled Egyptian citizens. They lived in a massive, purpose-built city next to the construction site. It had dormitories, bakeries. They ate better than most ancient people. Bones found at the site show where they consumed thousands of pounds of beef, sheep. They drank beer, but not to get drunk. It was a thick, nutritious gruel, almost like liquid bread, that provided... The work was dangerous, but they had state-of-the-art healthcare. Skeletons show perfectly healed broken bones, and even evidence of successful brain surgery. They worked in gangs with proud team names like the Drunkards of Menkor or the Friends of Khufu. They competed against each other to move the most stone. They were paid in grain, beer, and cloth. This wasn't forced labor. It was a national tax project that provided...
Giza was the center of the world. Ships arrived daily, delivering timber from Lebanon, copper from Sinai. It wasn't just men. Women played a crucial role, grinding the massive amounts of flour needed to bake bread for 20,000 hungry workers every single day. When they died, they weren't thrown in a pit. They were buried in honorable tombs right next to the pharaoh's pyramid. Did they know modern math? If you take the perimeter of the pyramid and divide it by twice its height,
it also encodes the golden ratio, or phi. This mathematical proportion appears everywhere.
This is the spookiest coincidence. They weren't just tombs. They were a mirror of the sky. The 3 pyramids align perfectly with the 3 stars.
Side. It doesn't have 4 sides, it has 8. The faces are slightly concave, a detail invisible from the ground and only...
Circulate. Egypt has earthquakes, so the engineers used ball and socket corner construction. This allowed the massive structure to shake.
The King's Chamber is acoustically perfect. If you hum a specific low note, the granite. Geologists noticed something strange on the Sphinx. Deep vertical erosion patterns that can only be caused by thousands.
The precision in optical grade. The 100-ton stones are cut so flat.
Coincidence? Or did these ancient engineers possess a level of mathematical and astronomical knowledge that was lost to history for thousands of years? To get inside, we don't use the original door. We enter through the robber's tunnel, hacked into the stone. Inside, it is a claustrophobic nightmare. The ascending passage climbs steeply upward. It is so narrow that...
This is the Queen's Chamber, though no queen was ever buried here.
1993. In 1993, a robot was sent up a tiny shaft in the Queen's Chamber. Years later, another robot drilled through that door. What did it find?
Deep underground lies the subterranean chamber. Unlike the rooms above,
In the King's Chamber lies the only object in the entire pyramid, a broken granite coffer.
Where is the writing? Egyptian tombs are usually covered in hieroglyphs and spells.
In 2017, scientists used cosmic ray scans to look inside. Thermal cameras also found strange heat anomalies at the base. Some stones stay hot long after sunset. So what we see today is just the skeleton. Originally, the Great Pyramid was covered in highly polished wood.
at the very top sat the Benben stone, or pyramidion. It was likely plated in electrum. For 3,800 years, it remained perfect, but in 1303 AD, a massive earthquake shook it. They didn't repair it. Instead, Sultan Hassan stripped the valuable white stones to build mosques and forts in Cairo. Treasure hunters were worse. In 820 AD, Caliph al-Mamun tunneled in with battering rams and
But when they finally broke into the king's chamber, they found nothing. No gold, no mummy.
For centuries, it became a billboard. Roman soldiers, French explorers, and British tourists all carved.
Today, the top is flat. The pyramid is 30 feet shorter than it used to be. The golden capstone.
Of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, 6 have crumbled to dust. Only the Great Pyramid survives.
What remains is the rough inner core, a mountain of 2.3 million blocks that has withstood wars.
If we built it today, using modern cranes and trucks, it would cost over $5 billion and take 5 years. Some scientists argue they didn't cut the stones at all. They say the blocks are geopolymer concrete, limestone mud poured.
Did aliens build it? No. Giving credit to aliens insults the genius of the ancient architects.
The Sphinx still stands guard, a silent witness that has watched history unfold for 40,000.
The pole stars have shifted over millennia, but the pyramid remains true. It is a stone computer.
The story isn't over. With new muon scans and drones,
Napoleon calculated here there was enough stone here to build a wall around France.
today, it is a spectacle. Lasers and lights tell the story to millions of tourists.
It is the only ancient structure visible from space, a geometric signal left by our ancestors.
It took 20 years, 100,000 men, and 2 million stones.
As the sun sets over Giza, the mystery remains. We may never know exactly how they did.
What do you think? Did they use internal ramps, water elevators, or something else? Tell us your theory in the comments below.
If you love uncovering ancient mysteries, hit that like button and subscribe. Join us next week as we dig deeper into history.
Click here to see how deep humans can dig, or here for another engineering marvel. Thanks for watching.